The reason why most startup fails these days is their inability to act fast. So from the moment you come up with an idea, you got to be able to figure out a way to get it validated within 3 to 4 weeks. You can't spend mammoth 5 6 months to build like a huge MVP with tons of features and things out there. It doesn't work that way. So figure out a way to get it out as fast as possible. If it's going to take more than 3 weeks, you're just spending too much time. I think having a business model for startup is very important. I don't know like why most founders kind of ignore this step. Actually, sales is king in any business, whether it's startup or whether you're selling cotton candy, right? So it's super important to think of this early on and get as many sales out of the door, because more the sales are coming, you're gonna be gaining more and more revenue. Finding the product market fit is truly lies on how fast you can get something out there in the market and validate it. If you're not able to do it, how else you can find what fits? If you take a concept and look, you'll see those products out there, 10 to 15 competitors. So it's important that you figure out a way to see where your product would fit in and to what niche. Sometimes patience is king here as well, because more the time you spend on improving it iteratively, get the customer feedback and improve your product. Actually, many startups fail to understand the target market needs. Actually, many startups fail to understand how important it is to find the right target market needs. As soon as you put it out there, you're going to get very harsh and very critical feedback. So it's important to stay grounded and be receptive to all the feedback that you can get. Nothing kind of goes beyond having data. So put in the right analytics mechanisms out there. Google Analytics and Hotjar is something that you can often use to see the behavior of the user within your site. That's something that I could recommend to be more receptive. And also doing the right market research early on could help in this endeavor. So number one, just be super receptive to the feedback. And when you hear something, just don't take it personally. Keep on trying improving the product as you get those feedback. Just go and read a lot. And when a competitor product comes out there, even if it costs money to like pay for a subscription, do that. You might then figure out how to position yourself within the market. So it's incredibly important to be receptive to the feedback. So what are some of the bad financial decisions that startups take? I have seen a variety of financial mistakes over my career. When I started, I didn't have any business background. I never had anyone in my family running a business. So it was excruciating, the fact that you have to do all these, and even to get someone else to do it, you at least got to know like the bare bones and the basics of what you need. So for an early founder, you could get a lot of advice on people spending tons of money up front. And exactly that's something what I did as well. So the biggest financial advice that I could give to all early startup founders is spend as less money as possible up front and operate as lean as possible. For an example, an online store, it's just gonna cost you like $13 to get the domain. And from there itself, it's pretty much about, building the site yourself. If you have site building skills, if you don't have it, too bad. You gotta put in the hard work and learn how to do it yourself, because you're not spending money. If you're at a point that you understand the business and if you know that there's a market, hiring an agency wouldn't be the worst choice. But you got to have your idea validated before getting it going. Biggest financial advice I can give is don't spend thousands of dollars up front. If you don't really have a skill, learn it yourself and get going. Don't spend so much money up front. And the second advice I can give, as soon as you're able to validate your idea, seek out for capital. Even if you're getting money from an angel investor, that means someone else is believing in you. So you would rather Get that partnership going, because that builds a network, that builds credibility, that builds confidence. Moreover, whatever the product that you're going to come up with has enough impact that people would put money and say, hey, take my money and build your goddamn thing. So we want to get to that state. So make sure you approach investors early on as well. Thanks for listening to my podcast. We'll come up with another episode just like this next week. Until then, peace.